And if you're watching now on that live, you see Joe's Sailor Bill stuff there, and it's class, isn't it, Jimmy? But it's nothing to do with us, like ours, because we have our very own Monday Night Sessions merch, and we have T-shirts and the whole lot. And they're from they're from the last time, but we're going to move on to that department now. We'll be giving them away. We're not charging anybody, but you can make a donation of no less than €30. You know what I mean? That's correct. But anyway, listen, 11 minutes after 8 o'clock, it's good to have your company. As I say, stay with us right through until 10. We're delighted to say the Seamus Grant weekend takes place down in Clonmany and Ballyliffin on the 14th, Friday the 14th of October, and goes on until Sunday the 16th of October. And I'm delighted to say from the festival we have Michael McDade, we have Patsy Toland, we have Evelyn McGonigal, and we have Bernadette Callahan. Folks, you're all very welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
So I tell you, Patsy, if we just go in for a quick introduction, the Seamus Grant weekend, tell us a wee bit about it.
Yeah, well, Seamus was a sort of local fiddle player and sort of, I suppose, somebody we all grew up with, and a man who sort of was very popular in fiddle playing and traditional music and played with the Clonmany Keeley Band. He died sort of prematurely in his early 70s, and a lot of us felt he needed to be remembered and his music and all the rest. So it started off as a wee session during Clonmany Festival and then moved onto its own weekend. This is the 11th one now. We've been going for 11 years now.
Did you run it, sorry, when you say the Clonmany Festival, was that the big Clonmany Festival?
Aye, we used to do
on
a day.
On the back of that then?
Aye, we used to do a day on the Wednesday during it. We used to have a traditional music day.
I never knew that.
Aye, and then, well, I suppose the sort of the big bands, the country music sort of took over. So we moved, and we now, what we do during Clonmany festivals, we go down to the Famine Village down the Isle of Dome. We do a day there, for it. So but then we decided to up it and move on to and do a full weekend in early October. And that was 11 years ago, and it's been going ever since, sort of the same format. It's remembering Seamus, but it's also all about his music, and particularly the sort of repertoire and the style he had. He was a man who learned most of his music listening to BBC Radio Scotland, so it's very Scottish in its music, and the style and all the rest. It's not the sort of the traditional Irish thing, and he was like that, and he liked the music of the big players and composers like Scott Skinner and Scotland and all. So, and he was an amazing. Aye, it was unusual and makes him sort of unique.
Aye,
not totally, because a contemporary his would have been Danny McLaughlin, Danny Whitehara.
Yes,
but Danny had a totally different style. But Seamus and the Clonmany Keeley Band was always a big bit of it as well, Brilliant. So we thought that was worth keeping going.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, we're going to talk more, but we would love to get a piece of music first, if that's okay.
Aye.
So first up for us.
First up, we're going to play a set of jigs Seamus played, because we have a wee group too that runs called Real Trad, and Michael and Evelyn and Bernadette are in with a few others, and they keep this sort of repertoire going. So we're going to play a couple of jigs from that, one called Paddy in London, and another one called Scotsman Over the Border, and finishing off with Hartigan's Fancy, isn't it, Michael? Yes.
So are we expecting a sort of a different slant in these tunes? Are these Seamus's tunes?
These are Seamus's tunes.
Okay.
This is his repertoire, so if you like, we're keeping the repertoire alive.
Yes.
And these would have been played for Keeley dances by the Keeley Band, so we're sort of trying to keep them alive, and
Excellent.
that sort of doesn't change, so every week we keep this repertoire alive as much as possible.
Brilliant. We're looking forward to this.
Right, okay, so we'll head off with a couple of jigs after 2. 1, 2. much.
Brilliant. Really enjoyed that. Thank you very much. And loads of people listening and watching and live on our social media pages right through from highlandradio.com. And we're delighted to have you on board. Nice to be sitting in the feet up tonight watching decent TV. So this is all part of the Seamus Grant weekend that we were talking about prior to the first piece of music. It kicks off on the Friday night, the 14th of October, with well-known Glenties fiddle player Tara Connor. Tara's from Glenties, isn't she?
Yes, yeah. The Friday night is always the same. We try and keep the format. Friday night is about a fiddle player. So we've had over the years, we've had Seamus Maguire, we've had Seamus Gibson here from Letty Kenny Johnson. Now, we've always featured a fiddle player along with some local dancing and singing as well,
Yeah.
So Tara is our sort of featured fiddle player on the Friday night, and then that fiddle player she'll do a workshop on the Saturday, sort of for people who want to sort of improve their music on that, So
just, I don't want to be interrupting you, Patsy, there, but you see the workshop, it's very important too. Who can come along to that?
Well, for Tara in particular, it would be people who can play but want to improve, in a particular style. Tara would be particularly known, and I've seen her do workshops, where she sort of gets the idea of music and dance together. And I've seen her in workshops where she does both at the same time, as well. So it's all about the rhythm, and it's all about that.
There's a knack in that, isn't there?
Oh, it's
a skill. Like
very much, yeah.
Because if you don't bring the people with you, you're sort of wasting your time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So that's, and then on that night as well, with some local talent, Mickey and Lucy Hearn, along with Jacqueline McKay and Louise Daughter, they're a sort of a local group. Yeah. Mickey would be well known around playing and gigs and things like that. Local dancing group, Valerie Harkin, and then we'll have some singers from the Show Singers Circle. So that Friday night is a sort of a nice, quiet, low-key concert, maybe 90 or 100 people. And the Market House in Kilmanny.
Oh, very good.
Most people don't see the Market House because it's hidden by the stage during the festival. Right. But they've done a great job in it, and the community centre have taken it over and opened a wee cafe there. And we'll have an exhibition running over the weekend and all. And then we'll have upstairs, there's a lovely wee venue. It holds about 100 people. So
how many of you are involved in the whole thing, Patsy, as regards committee and stuff?
It'd be a small committee, like 4 to 7, maybe 8 maybe, and then there'd be all the chair movers and shifters and things like that, and the people who do it. But it's a small committee, and funnily enough, nearly everybody in the committee is a musician. Anyway, so we've sort of an interest in, in keeping it going.
It's great that you're doing that, but it's well important too for the music to keep going on to generations. That people like yourself can do that. It must be great to see young people coming on board.
Absolutely, it is. It's great actually, and I suppose we do a certain amount for young people, but we always depend on the like of Roshi McGrory and Clodagh Warnock over on the other side of Inishowen, who do an awful lot of the teaching of young people in Inishowen and fiddle, and they do an amazing job altogether. They have dozens of young kids playing fiddles, harps, whistles, accordions, everything. They're, pipes. They do a lot, and we would support them, and they support us. They'll actually be along at one of the concerts as well, doing that. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, thanks for that, Evelyn.
Hello.
Going, oh no! How did you get involved?
Well, the first year I missed out. I was I kept quiet behind the scenes, but I was asked to sing at one of the concerts. It was Pat McGonigal. He would be a relation of mine, and he was the chairman back then.
Right.
And he came to the house one day and asked me would I sing a few songs at it, and I said yeah, and they invited us up then to the house to join up with the likes of Michael and Bernadette and them that used to meet up and have a wee session in their house. So I ended up going up to play up there maybe once a week, and I kind of took off from that.
Very good. Has traditional music been in your blood for a long time?
It has. My grandfather, Neil McGonigal, he was one of the Ons from Clunsha. He played in the Kilmanny Keeley Band for a while in the late 70s. And then my mother's side of the house, they're all singers and Gillespies. They're well known. My aunt from Clunsha, Roseanne McGonigal, would have been well known for the Inishowen singing circle.
Nice.
So yeah,
kind of
a good background. So I'm kind of carrying it on, yes.
And do you pick up any, your music, if you are singing, do you pick up any tunes from them that they might have traditionally had, or is it your sort of ones you found yourself?
Most of them would have been from listening to music in the house. Mum and Dad would have played a lot of tunes in the house, maybe from Granda's old tapes, cassettes, and then we would listen to a lot of the Fury Brothers, Dubliners, that kind of, Sean Keane. And that would have been what inspired me. But I would have learned a lot of my songs from my mother and my aunts, and my granny was a singer, and the music side of it would have been mainly picked up from the likes of the Clonmany Keeley Band and Seamus's tunes.
Well done. I love that. I love that tradition of things moving, carrying on. You know what I mean? It's really, really good. We'd love to get another piece of music if you don't mind.
Aye,
Do you need to tune up or anything, or do you?
I know we're okay. I think we're good to go. Yeah.
That's good. So the next one, Patsy.
Next one, we're going to do again a couple of Seamus tunes. These are Highlands. Again, a lot of the music would have been for dancing, you know. And if we ever play these anywhere in Clonmany, you'd be sure that half a dozen people will be up dancing on the floor. You know, they're just naturally.
That's what
these
you want to see.
these tunes are sort of in people's minds for generations. And when they play this, Seamus used to say that, you know, when you played a certain tune, if you were doing a Ceilidh and you wanted to do the Waltz of Limerick, there was a tune that you had to play. He says, if you didn't play that tune, people would stand and look at you. What are you doing, you know? But
good.
he says, after you play that first tune and they get out, you know, you can play anything you want after that, you know. So anyway, these are a couple of Highlands. The first one's called George Owens, and the second one's called Orange and Blue.
Oh, lovely. When you're
Okay.
ready.
After 4. Okay, and 3 times each. 1, 2, 3, 4. Highlands.
Ah, lovely. Thank you very much indeed for that. I was just in, just when you talk about fiddle playing there, it just struck me. I was in Glenties today just for the, well, see if I get a bargain. The stalls. I didn't get a chance to get down the weekend, but I couldn't help. I was walking through the town and noticed now and again photographs of the one and only Jimmy Campbell. And it just dawned me, oh God, you know Jimmy, because he was up here with us just, you know, last year. Where's Jimmy? Was it last year? And he would have been involved, or not involved, but would he took part in your?
No, we never had any of the. I suppose it's sort of, I won't say deliberate thing, but we there's such a strong fiddle playing tradition around Glenties and Ardra and around, you know, the Dohertys and the Campbells and all this. we wanted to try and show this other and is showing things which is, if you like, I suppose, a wee bit more Scottish and keep it. So we were always trying to sort of show that there's more than just the one sort of style in Donegal. People talk about Donegal fiddling, but Seamus sort of shows that there was another, but a much more sort of formal Scottish style to it. So, but although we had and we were up here with him, Paddy McMenamin was here
Paddy,
with us.
yes,
He was great one year. He was our featured fiddle player. So we have had quite a few fiddle players up, and
Paddy was up with, oh God, it was great crack.
Great crack, great crack.
You could have sat all night, Pim, just.
Oh no! Stories and talks and tunes. A great man to arrive, as Roshi McGraw used to say. Great man to arrive just when you were thinking of finishing.
The last one was 2017. Wow, that's the last time. Thank God. But come here. So, if people want to get involved, or people not involved, people want more information. You're on the social media. I notice you have that all sorted and all already.
Our Facebook, and Evelyn's the woman behind the Facebook. We have the Facebook page for contacting Evelyn and all the rest for tickets locally. And then we have a very good website that we've been working on over the past year, which we're really proud of, because not alone does it have a festival page, but we have delved into sort of old tapes and tunes and things that, and we have an archive of Seamus on video, playing tunes. Then we have a tutor page where people have come along and people we know, and they've come on and done video lessons of Seamus's tunes, so that people want to learn the tune, they can see a fiddle player or an accordion player. So we've been working really hard on that to make it a sort of a really top class resource, for people.
It's well done on yourselves. I think it's amazing. The thing about it too is this unique style of playing, as you say, and carrying that forward. It'll stay around these parts for long enough, I'm sure.
It will. And like the uniqueness of it again is this connection, because like our big guest this year is Ali Bain, who would probably, he's from the Shetland Islands, but he would be known probably as the best known fiddle player and traditional musician in sort of Scotland, England, and all the rest. He was the man behind the transatlantic sessions, that took American folk or country singers over to Scotland and melded them with Irish and
I remember that.
with long running series they used to have. So he was the man behind that there.
Very good.
And he's written tunes. He's just an amazing character altogether. And then along with him, Phil Cunningham, who's a Scottish guy as well, plays accordion and has composed some beautiful tunes. So we've actually been trying to get them for a couple of years to come, but then COVID hit, so and that sort of prevented it. But he was a real favourite of Seamus. Seamus used to listen to the radio now and again. If Ali Bain was on, it'd be shush. Here's Ali Bain playing a tune,
Seamus would be a good crack if he was here now, wouldn't he?
And one of the reasons why we kept after Ali Bain to see would he come over, because we think it's pretty special,
That's nice. It is
pretty
nice.
special.
Absolutely.
So he's performing. They're both performing on the Saturday night in the Ballyliffin Hotel. That's a big concert, and that'll sort of sell out. We've already sold maybe 100 of the 300 tickets. They're on Eventbrite and on the website.
So if people want them tickets, they can get them through Eventbrite.
They can go straight to Eventbrite, or again they can go to the Facebook and contact Evelyn for local tickets as well if they want, for the Saturday night or the Friday night as well.
Evelyn, you're under pressure with the social media stuff, are you?
Slightly, yeah. They're kind of.
You've multi roles here.
a few jobs to do, yeah. So I have to start promoting it now from now on. And
but you have to, don't you? Really, because that's the sort of modern way forward now.
That's right,
everybody's on it, and if you're not, you're sort of missing the trick. I think the website page is a brilliant idea. Brilliant. How did you manage during the pandemic? Did you go? What do you call it?
Well, we took the brave thing. We took the brave step. I don't know. Maybe I sort of pushed people. We took the brave step of going online, and for 2 years we had 2 online festivals.
Yes,
which in a way was brilliant for us, particularly last year, because the one thing about online is you can reach people like from around the world. And we had, for example, last year probably the best known Cape Breton fiddle player ever, Natalie McMaster and her family, huge names, and they recorded a piece for us, and they did an interview with us who went online way back as well to just the year in 2005 before Seamus died. He recorded his only one CD, and there was a Cape Breton piano player called Ryan McNeil with him, who now lives in South Africa, and I tracked him down, and Ryan did a performance for us online and sent it to us. So we had an amazing year last year and the year before of people you'd never get and we could never afford to bring to Clonmany, and they were there on it,
You see, it's sort of every cloud, as they say, but it's good to do that, because you're talking to so many artists, and the question you always ask is, well, how did you get on during the pandemic? And some people didn't go online because they didn't feel right, but the amount of people that tell you, God, there's people listening in America, and there's people that, they were just blown away with it. Like, so it's good.
Oh, it was lovely. We had a family from Anna and Clonmany, a fella who actually Seamus taught, and himself and his 3 kids play, and they live in was it Boston,
yes.
and they did a wee show from their sitting room and recorded it, and they were part of it too. So it was just amazing.
So when you look at that, they couldn't have really took part in Boston.
Not
Very
at
good.
all, not at
Bernadette, your role. What's your role in all this? Just accordion play. See, Bernadette didn't think.
I'm part of the committee as well.
Bernadette didn't think we were going to talk to you. So we hoodwinked her there and up on. You're part of the committee too.
I'm part of the committee as well. Yeah,
And are you there from the start?
yeah I was there
That's
from
good.
the beginning. Yeah.
You enjoy all that.
We do. Indeed.
That's good. And obviously you're an accordion player.
Well, I give it my best shot.
Oh no! You have to be. There's no point in being modest. But listen, that's all I'm going to ask you, because I don't
Thank
want to
you.
put you on the
Thank
spot, but you're welcome. And Michael McDade, hello to you, Michael. I'm doing good. Come here. Your role in it as a committee member, is it, Michael?
No, well, at the moment I just play and support where I can, and I'm there if I'm needed. I was on the committee, so no, I'm there when I'm needed, and I'm part of the group too. So
Good. And you join it, Michael?
enjoying it.
Aye.
Oh, very much music.
Aye.
I'd be lost without my music, like
Aye.
so.
And how long you playing the banjo?
Playing probably about 15 years now. I was playing a good while before I came out. I sort of
Yes.
out of the closet.
Very good. Very good.
Played along with like Patsy a lot, and another man, Mick Deneve, and I learned a lot of tunes from Mick and that, and
Good stuff.
so putting tunes together, and
Well
rhythm.
done.
So
Well done for keeping it going. It's great to be respected and appreciated. Well done, Dees, because it's a big thing, it really is. You probably maybe don't realise until you sit back and think about it, but you're doing great work. It's amazing. And who had a request there? Oh, Maria Howard says, good man, Patsy. So there
Well,
you are.
Maria,
Thank you, Maria.
a connection with Maria. Her husband's Fitz Howard. He makes
Yes.
guitar, and he made this tenor guitar that I'm
Ah.
playing. Like I was looking for a long while. So yeah, I know Maria well.
Me and Jim are going down to see these guitars being made. We were just roughly talking to them on Saturday, maybe
Aye.
Sunday, yesterday. I was
Yesterday.
just I forget these. You know what I mean?
He's
But,
an amazing
oh,
guitar
that it
player,
is.
or maker and repair.
Of course.
Unbelievable.
And fair play to them indeed, and thanks for getting in touch. Right, so once again, it's the Seamus Grant weekend, and it's the 11th annual festival, and it takes part on Friday the 14th through until Sunday the 16th of October. And everything's included. There'll be workshop. As a workshop, sorry, I know you told me there's a workshop with
There's
Tara. Is there a
I-
workshop for?
The other workshops, what we're going to do is we're going to put those online for the people who contacted us last year and the year before. So we're going to have some online workshops as well.
Excellent.
So that people,
Excellent.
and we had people from all over the country and England and all the rest coming in for workshops. So we thought we'll keep a bit of that as well. So
That's
we
very
have
good. But
that workshop
you
as
just
well.
didn't, you just didn't drop them now because we
No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't do
No,
that.
that's
And then we have
good.
a lovely day. Then it's a sort of a wind down on Sunday. What we do then is in the market house we have a sort of an open session. It'll start about 2:00 for younger people who want to come and play or sing or dance, and then from 3 to 6, it's a sort of a family. Anybody come along, sing a song, do a wee bit of gaily dancing, whatever
Excellent.
you like, just because it is really a family sort of a weekend, As well as then, of course, it's great to have sessions. We'd have sessions in the Square Bar and McFeely's and in the Bluffin Hotel after into the wee hours,
Okay.
when everybody gets together. And
These
out
have to be
play,
done now, like,
so
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
It doesn't sound as good if it's not finishing off in a bar. But accommodation wise and stuff, do you find, in your local area, do you find people saying, the bookings are up here because of the ones come with the festival? Or?
I will particularly say the Bluffin Hotel, who would look after us as well for that. You do get that as well. When you get inquiries then from people, but a lot of people would know people in the area. Like I have 6 or 7 people coming from Dublin, and they've booked Airbnbs and things like that, and of course a few of them booked into my own house because they said we're not paying for accommodation. When you have a spare bedroom, we'll just come to your house. So and it's good. It's good. It's a good accommodation wise, and then all the other food wise and all the rest. It's a wee bit of a help anyway.
Of course,
coming onto the
And
autumn.
it's, as I say, once again, you're bringing a lot of extra money into the area.
Aye.
I'm not saying you bring in a fortune, but you know what I mean. That people are glad, and it's nice to see that.
No,
this
and
time
it's
of
lovely,
year.
and people come back to us because we have a lot of sponsors, you know, as well as the people who are involved with us. You know, we do get some money from the Arts Council as well,
Yes.
and then just the pubs and the local post office and others. They would all sort of help in terms of.
And do you find them good days in that area?
Ah, God.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You nearly don't even have to ask. We've actually, people rung us up, say, "Oh, you're on again this year. Put me down for the program. We'll sponsor you." You know, like Pat down the Famine Village, we'll give
Yes.
some to that, or Anne and Glendowen Craft Shop. Surely put me down. You know, you don't even have to go ask.
Well, do you know the
people.
Famine Village is a perfect setting.
Oh,
for
it's
that,
great.
you know,
for
I
that.
was down there in the summer. Me and my wife were down for the day, and I just loved it. Thought it was brilliant, you know. And just when you're saying about it, you go, "That's just the perfect place." You know, the whole atmosphere would be great there. You know.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
listen,
that's-
we would love a final tune if you don't mind.
right. Well, we do a couple of reels maybe. Yeah, we've done some jigs, some his. We'll do St Anne's reel and the Wise Maid.
very good.
Okay. Again, all these would be sort of sets that Seamus would have played and would be
Yes.
on a CD and things like that. You know, so we like to keep those going and things
Lovely.
like that. You know.
Lovely.
We're doing Paddy on the Railroad as well. So we do
stuff.
3.
Good stuff.
Okay. 1, 2.
Thank
Excellent, excellent.
They are.
I just want to ask you a quick question before I let you go. Are those tunes you played associated with Seamus Grant?
They are, yeah. The one CD that he made, they're the ones that he would have played for a particular dance at a Keeley, and they belong to the Kilmany Keeley band and
You
Seamus
see
himself.
The first one is Dan Drill.
Aye.
When you said you were playing, I was going, I associate that with Tommy Makem.
There's a song around that as well,
Aye.
all right. You know, it's actually a French Canadian tune. The French Canadian,
Oh, is it?
the Cape Breton people and the French Canadian would tell you it's their tune. We would
Oh,
say it's
that's
our
good
tune,
enough.
but that's one of those bouncing over and back.
I
We
know-
all we
I
all
know.
share it now, you know.
I'm not going to follow it. We want to claim it, claim away. So once again, it's the Seamus Grant weekend, and it's going to be absolutely brilliant. It starts on Friday the 14th, runs until Sunday the 16th of October. And as I say, for further information, you can check them out on their Facebook page, or you can go to www.seamusgrantweekend.com, and you'll have all. Michael McDade, thank you very much. Patsy Toland, Evelyn. McGonigal, Evan, sorry about that, because it's wee small right now. I haven't got my glasses on. Bernadette Callahan, listen, it's been a pleasure. You deserve credit, and the best of luck with it. And I can't wait to see you back again
Okay.
next year.